Breaking news came down, so we have to discuss it. This is what we do here. We're talking about the Indiana Fever making yet another move, Alicia, because they're Thanos right now and they're collecting all the Infinity Stones.
Breaking news just dropped, and we have to talk about it. This is what we do here. We're discussing the Indiana Fever making yet another move. Alicia, they're on fire right now, stacking up all the Infinity Stones. Did you hear about the WNBA shocker that has Aja Wilson fuming? Sydney Colson, Wilson's favorite teammate and closest ally, just flipped the basketball world upside down by leaving the two-time champion Aces for, wait for it, Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. That's right, two-time WNBA champion Sydney Colson is officially signing a one-year deal with Indiana.
Two-time WNBA champion Sydney Colson is officially signing a one-year deal with the Indiana Fever. So, the Fever just keep on doing what they've been doing. They're not playing no games in Indiana.
First of all, this WNBA free agency will not let us rest, number one. We literally cannot rest. But also, I love this move again. Like, Sydney Colson is a great player, but she's also a player that is going to add even more to what we're going to talk about later, and that's that chemistry of the team.
The Fever just keep doing what they do best. They're not messing around. First of all, this WNBA free agency will not let us catch a break. Seriously, we can't get a moment of rest, but I have to say I love this move. Sydney Colson is not only a solid player, but she's also going to add something even more valuable: team chemistry. That's right, folks. The Aces dynasty is showing cracks and fans are losing their minds. Among all the Fever's off-season moves, this might be the one that pushes Indiana over the edge to championship glory. Are you ready for this ride? Let's go. You're telling me that a two-time WNBA champion, the face of the league...
You mean to tell me that two-time WNBA champion, the face of the God Dog League, okay? The Aces' main girl, right-hand man, Sydney Colson, is no longer returning to the Aces and is signing with the Indiana Fever? First of all, do the Fever even have any more roster spots open? How many folks are you guys going to sign?
She's the face of the league, self-appointed face of the league, but also just in entertainment and all of these things. She has done and achieved so many things and continues to find amazing places in the WNBA, including with the Indiana Fever right now. And I'm just really, listen, what other moves they gonna make? Because I love this one too. And just great move after great move after great move. And I'm excited for Sydney Colson, and I'm excited for the Indiana Fever because they have an amazing player who is also very hilarious, like one of the funniest people in the league. So really excited to see this.
Said, imagine the content between Sydney and Caitlin. It's gonna be comedy.
Content for days. I know the Indiana Fever front office is just celebrating because that is a part of it too, is content and having players that are going to be good at that. So come on, Sydney.
The Aces' heart and soul, Sydney Colson, isn't returning to Las Vegas. Instead, she's heading to Indiana. First of all, do the Fever even have any roster spots left? How many more players are they planning to sign? Picture this. Wilson, the self-proclaimed queen of the Las Vegas Aces, wakes up to find her right-hand woman gone. What happened? Sydney Colson, a two-time champion with the Aces, was more than just a teammate.
What do you mean Sydney Colson is joining the Indiana Fever? What does that mean? Indiana is just being so right now. They took DB, they took Natasha, now they got Sydney Colson. Like, why would they take Sydney from us? What the we ever do to Indiana except beat them? But like, what the we ever do to Indiana?
I'm really trying here not to crash out, okay? I can't take too much more. I just said the other day, what did I say? Another bomb is Sunday. I said, this isn't it. You know, I can't wait to see what the next bomb would be. Didn't know this would be the bomb. Stephanie White ain't playing fair. I have to say it again. Stephanie White is not playing fair. She on one.
She was a confidant, a partner in crime, and the glue that kept the locker room together. But something shifted. Colson began looking beyond the glitz and glamour of Vegas. She's a self-appointed face of the league, not just in basketball, but also in entertainment. She's achieved so much and continues to carve out her place in the WNBA, now with the Indiana Fever. And honestly, I'm here for it. What other moves do they have up their sleeve? Because this is another incredible one. Let's talk about Colson's journey with the Aces. Sure, her stats might not jump off the page, 2.5 points, 1 assist and 8 minutes per game last season, but her impact went way beyond numbers. She was a defensive specialist, a clutch player who stepped up when it mattered most. Remember the WNBA finals 2 years ago? Colson was there, making those crucial plays that don't always make the highlight reels. And here's the twist. Colson wasn't just any player on the court. She was the heart and soul of the Aces locker room, the one who kept everyone laughing, who brought the energy when things got tough. She was the secret weapon that every championship team needs, the player who makes everyone else better just by being there.
That Amber Cox and Stephanie White, they were probably scouring the free agency market, and they were like, you know what? We do need to protect our locker room. We need to be able to bring in someone who can be a really good fit, someone who can really help to put these younger players at ease. And also, we need somebody to be able to play some lockdown defense off the bench. And that is it. Sydney Colson is vibes and defense. That's why she's on this.
Sydney Colson is a two-time WNBA champion, a true vet, an amazing backup point guard. And anytime that CC or any of the guards need to go to the bench, I mean, Sydney Colson always makes the right call, always makes the right decision. So to pick up a vet, a professional like Sydney Colson, and then you also have a vet like DeWanna Bonner, and you also have a vet like Kelsey Mitchell, and then you have CC and Aaliyah Boston and Lex.
I'm excited for Sydney Colson, and even more excited for the Indiana Fever. They're not just getting a skilled player, they're getting one of the funniest personalities in the league. Imagine the content between Sydney and Caitlin. It's going to be comedy gold. The Indiana Fever front office must be celebrating because entertainment value is a part of the game too.
Caitlin Clark actually spoke on this on Sunday, and she had this to say, quote, "I'm excited. Obviously, we made some great moves. I think Kelly and Amber and the whole Fever organization are helping us to win now, and I think that's really important. I think they're putting really good pieces together that are going to complement each other really, really well." And then she continued talking about Steph, their new head coach, and said that Steph taking over as head coach for us, I think is going to be really great. A great basketball mind, someone that actually called quite a few of my college games. So being able to build that relationship with her and just be in the gym and work on things that she probably saw when I was a freshman in college.
Sydney brings both skill and personality. Now, let's shift gears to the Indiana Fever. They've been making moves like a team with something to prove. Natasha Howard, check. DeWanna Bonner, you bet. Sophie Cunningham, yep. And now, Sydney Colson. It's like they're building a super team right in front of our eyes. What do you mean Sydney Colson is joining Indiana? Indiana is just doing too much right now. They took DB, they took Natasha, and now Sydney. Why would they take Sydney from us?
I hope that some of y'all, if y'all are not familiar with Sydney Colson, I hope y'all, watch some highlights of her, because don't just be like, oh, Sydney Colson, she barely scored last year. She's not good for the Indiana Fever. No, she is. Don't.
What did we ever do to Indiana except beat them? But seriously, why did Colson leave a championship team? That's the million-dollar question. The basketball world is in shock. Fans are losing their minds. Aces supporters can't believe it, while Fever fans are pinching themselves to make sure they're not dreaming. I'm really trying not to lose it, but this is too much. Just the other day, I said another bomb was coming. I just didn't know it would be this one. Stephanie White is not playing fair. I have to say it again, she is not playing fair. Here's the truth. Colson chose Caitlin Clark over Ajar Wilson. Let that sink in. The player Wilson called her favorite teammate, her right-hand woman, just packed her bags and headed to Indiana. This isn't just a new team, it's a new era.
We knew that Caitlin Clark was this phenomenal talent, but she was entering a league that she was not familiar with. She was a rookie. The Indiana Fever have been actively building and rebuilding their organization and this team, and they have a lot of incredible pieces. But the fact that they were able to get into the playoffs and be a team that, although they didn't, advance far in the playoffs, they were a team that we kept saying, if you face them, they're gonna make it difficult for you. That organization then saw that and said, we're capitalizing on this and we're doing it now.
What Steph White is doing and what the Fever organization is doing is nothing less than phenomenal, in my opinion. They are taking this young, talented core that they have, with Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark, and they're adding veteran players that Stephanie White has already worked with. Let's talk about that too, and has chemistry with and knows the work ethic of. And they are building this super team, make no mistake about it, that is going to give you instant results.
Amber Cox and Stephanie White were probably scanning free agency thinking, we need to protect our locker room. We need a veteran presence who can guide younger players and provide lockdown defense off the bench. And that's exactly what they got. Sydney Colson, vibes and defense. But this move isn't just about basketball, it's about culture. The Fever didn't just add a backup guard for Clark and Kelsey Mitchell. They brought in a locker room leader, a defensive specialist, and a player who knows what it takes to win championships. And Wilson, she's not taking this lightly. Her social media is blowing up, and her fans are in meltdown mode. But why all the fuss over a backup guard? Because Colson isn't your typical bench player.
This season, the Fever is gonna run amok this year. You got DeWanna Bonner. Oh my God. They took Sid. And some of y'all really don't feel like Sid was that valuable. Sid, so valuable. To not see Asia, Sid, Chelsea Gray, KP, and Jackie Young together.
She's a defensive dynamo with elite court vision and a smooth three-point shot. Imagine her skill set, paired with Caitlin Clark or taking over when Clark needs a breather. Scary, right? The Fever didn't just sign a player, they acquired a winner, a leader, and a secret weapon, all in one. And make no mistake, she's going to be a key piece in their championship puzzle. With Colson in the mix, the Fever are crafting a winning culture alongside great offense and defense. She's the glue that could hold everything together. What Stephanie White and the Fever organization are doing is nothing short of phenomenal. They're taking their young, talented core, Aaliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark, and others, and adding seasoned veterans White has worked with before. They're building a team that can win now. Picture this. It's late in the fourth quarter of a tight game. The crowd is on its feet. Pressure is at its peak. There's Sydney Colson, cool as ever, knocking down a clutch three or making a game-changing defensive stop.
I need somebody to investigate Indiana. I need Indiana investigated. Unfortunately for Indiana, I will be praying on their downfall. I will be praying for them to lose every single game. I just can't. I just can't.
Fit is the most important thing. You got to have somebody that can run up and down the floor and catch those passes Caitlin's going to be throwing.
That's what she does. And now, she's doing it in a Fever uniform. And here's the real kicker. Colson isn't just here to support the stars. She's here to elevate them. Her experience, basketball IQ, and winning mentality will rub off on Clark and Mitchell. She's not just filling a role, she's making the whole team better. This season, the Fever are about to shake things up. They've gone from underdogs to serious title contenders in record time. Meanwhile, the Aces, their aura of invincibility is fading fast. The Fever are stacking up talent, and they're making sure Caitlin Clark has everything she needs to succeed. That's what smart organizations do. They build a team around their superstar. So what does this mean for the upcoming season?
What is painfully clear, and what I've talked about in my other videos, is that the league, the Fever organization, are doing everything they should do to make sure their star is happy and that their star gets a ring. I didn't know they were going to load up like this, though. DeWanna Bonner, Sydney Colson, just re-signed Kelsey Mitchell. You already have Aaliyah Boston. You have Caitlin. You have Lexi.
Can't falter. That's what good coaches do. She is on one, man. She came in and said, I got some things I need to do, and I'm going to get them done. And I'm going to build around Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell. And I know, you got to give props and props to do. Y'all, the Fever go run some stuff next year. This year.
Buckle up, basketball fans, because we're in for a wild ride. The Fever have the talent, the momentum, and now the experience. The Aces, their once unshakable empire, is showing cracks. Caitlin Clark's star power isn't just transforming the Fever.
They were so close. They made the postseason, I should say, for the first time in a long time. But this is going to catapult them to what I see as being in the finals, if not winning the whole thing.
They are giving their star, Caitlin Clark, all the pieces she needs to be successful. And you have to clap for that, because this is what you do when you have superstar talent. You build a superstar team. And this is what the Indiana Fever have.
It's reshaping the entire WNBA landscape. Are you ready to watch David take on Goliath? Because this season, we just might witness a power shift in the WNBA. Who are you rooting for in this epic showdown? Let us know in the comments, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a thing. See you in the next one.